Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sanada. Please touchpad button, or press touchpad button. Copyright 2006, sorry. Okay, I'm Mysterious JG. This is my first recording of this game in a little while. I really should do a test recording. My first Neo video the other day crapped out, but I'm gonna be brazen, and I'm gonna assume everything's working. So, this is my first starting a new recording session here, so I had gotten well ahead of what you guys were seeing. But at last, we're not completely caught up with me, but, I need to get a few more of these in the can to make sure that I have a nice backlog. Last time, Yukimura and Lady Cha-Cha took it upon themselves to get involved in the personal business of everybody who's part of the Toyotomi regime. So at this point, it's a whole long thing I could go off on here before we get going, but Hideyoshi is about to kick the bucket. And Hideyoshi, he's an interesting character. There's a lot of characters in the Samurai Warriors games. They gave them very simplistic, cartoony representations in the games. And some of them fit better than others. And some of them have really, as new characters were added, the old characters became more and more bizarre. Like, okay, so you got some relationships, right? Nobunaga and Nohime, his wife, both debut in the very first Samurai Warriors game and have been there all along. So their relationship, and it's much more important in the games where No has her own story mode, her relationship with Nobunaga and vice versa is a lot more important than it is in any game where you play as Nobunaga. Nobunaga's like one of the main characters of the whole story. His wife is a side character. But, their relationship has not changed that much. There was this element in the first Samurai Warriors game where she wanted to maybe kill him. Literally, she was going to murder him based on some rumors back at the time that she was really going to be an assassin for Dosan Saito, her father. And in later games, but she had this weird psychosexual relationship where she was obsessed with him and she loved him and she wanted him to exist forever, but she also wanted to kill him. And in later games, it was just they kind of the killing him part got downplayed, but she had this weird murderous streak as far as other people were concerned. And Nobunaga has pretty much not changed either. He's the freaking Demon King in every game. I don't know if it's his anglicized voice acting, like the English language voice acting in Samurai Warriors 2 is how I like to remember or think of Nobunaga, but like in the Japanese games he gets more and more weird and doofy, it seems like to me. But he always has this like malevolent look and doesn't really say that much about what he's thinking, and when he does it tends to be pretty dark and involve crushing any who oppose him, but hasn't changed that much, right? And like the only character I can think of who was in the first game who's really changed pretty drastically was Oichi, because in the first game she's like a little kid, and they had scenes with her being married to Nagamasa, and I think somebody even in Japan realized, well, this is pretty fucking disturbing. She's like, we've got her portrayed as being like 10 years old, so they made her more grown up in later appearances, and that affected some of her character relations, blah blah blah. But other characters just get weird. Like Kotaro Fuma was the only character, I don't remember if he was in Samurai Warriors 1 or if he debuts in Samurai Warriors 2, but he's like this demon clown ninja. He's evil. He talks about chaos and darkness and wanting to see the wars continue forever because he loves the blood. And in 2, he's like the only character who is on the Hojo side in all these fights against the Hojo, because the Hojo is this big important force, but it doesn't have any characters. Like, the generals you kill in these Hojo missions are always generic builds. They don't have unique characters in Samurai Warriors 2. I never really played 3, but in 4, they by now we've got what is his name? Lion of Sagami guy's name. I can never Yuji Masa, I guess, or Yuji something. There's so many Yuji somethings that I can't keep them straight. But then you've got Lady Hayakawa and Kai, who's portrayed as being related. So that whole faction is now fleshed out with more characters, although they really use them as an excuse to try to add ladies. And Demon Clown Ninja Man no longer makes any sense. You have these group scenes where it's like pure and innocent Lady Hayakawa and the hot-blooded tomboy Lady Kai and Lady Hayakawa's father, the wise Ujiyasu or Uji whatever, and they're all together in this group, and Fuma's there. And Lady Hayakawa would say, like, it is very important that we win this battle for the good of the clan. And Fuma's there being like demon evil clown ninja. So what's my point? My point is that the character who's like the most bizarre of all to me is Hideyoshi, because his entire character throughout the Samurai Warriors franchise is based on this one detail. Well, maybe more than one detail, but like it's all based on the fact that like at one point Nobunaga, when Hideyoshi was a lowly commoner, and a sandal bearer for Nobunaga. Nobunaga used to call him Monkey because Nobunaga was a high-ranking member of a noble family. He could do shit like that. He could call you Monkey, and you had to like it because he was a nobleman and you weren't. But like all this stuff about Hideyoshi, like dancing around and acting, capering about like a monkey, comes from that. And like for this game, for most of the game, he's the de facto ruler of Japan. And the actual historical Hideyoshi was like known to be a pretty harsh guy. He took land and prestige away from his enemies and gave it to people who were his supporters. Like Masamune hated him. He launched this disastrous expedition to Korea, which led to like just horrible, atrocities. Because it's not real clear now if he wanted to conquer Korea to be the greatest Japanese warlord of all time who was going to conquer land outside of Japan, or if it was more of a thing to keep any potential opponents of his in check, because they all had to be fighting over in Korea and they couldn't be fighting against him or whatever. He also changed the law, so he was raised to a noble from commoner status and ascended to be the ruler of the land and changed the law so that nobody else could be raised from commoner status going forward. Changed his family name and gave himself a samurai house and all that stuff. But in this game, he's just like happy-go-lucky fun guy. And there's little hints, like you've got that weird scene where, oh man, I'm blanking as Maida, not the wild-haired Maida, but like the Maida guy who's actually like a functioning member of the government. He has to kill all these civilians fighting to take out the Hojo, and it's hinted that those are Hideyoshi's orders and not his own desires. But he takes it upon him. He takes responsibility on himself. But there's no scene where we ever see Hideyoshi doing all that kind of evil, nasty stuff because the character they made for him, it doesn't work. He's like cute, funny monkey guy. So it's just weird. I don't know. But now he's about to die, and he has centralized power in his own hands in a way where there is bound to be trouble because his kid is really too young to pick it up and take it over. And we spent much of the last video, and now we spent about a third of this one talking about nonsense, but much of the last video was us going around chatting with all these people. This is like the fucking dating sim of the Samurai Warriors series. We're just going around talking to everybody about their feelings all the time. And in fact, we've been going around trying to get Kiyomasa and Masanori, I think are their names, to not want to punch Mitsunari in the face. And talking to other people who are less inclined to punch Mitsunari in the face. But it's all about the fact that Mitsunari is positioning himself to take over effectively. But everybody thinks he's an asshole. So let's see where it goes. Well, for one thing, we're at Osaka Castle. Yukimura-sama. Whatever can I do? Yukimura! I don't remember all the voices from last time, but I do remember she's a female robot. She's Vicky the Small Wonder. I put out way too much content for anybody to keep up with it, but and Bobo is way too busy. But I do believe if he were to watch this series, he would appreciate Vicky the Small Wonder as Lady Cha-Cha. Lady Cha-Cha, what's happened? It's not Lord Hideyoshi, ... question mark, exclamation. Has the monkey finally bought it? Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess literally I stopped playing last time exactly in time for this to be the Hideyoshi death episode. Oh. Alas, poor monkey, I knew him, Horatio. Oh man, I was actually, I had this gag in mind. I was going to look up the words to "Oh Captain, my Captain" and to "Oh Monkey, my Monkey," but I'm not prepared, so, I guess we're just all going to have to suffer for that. Yeah. What's the pan? Oh, he's just dying now. Well, my time is up! What are you saying? That's not like you, my darling. You've never died before. Why would you start now? She's right, my lord. The land needs your guiding hand. Oh, shut up, Ieyasu. You know that you're fucking waiting for this. I mean, Ieyasu has been fucking waiting in the wings. There's no indication historically that he was involved in, poisoning Hideyoshi or anything like that, but he was clearly... He is somebody who is thinking long term. One of the reasons he's the ultimate final winner of this whole thing is that he was thinking long term when most of his opponents were thinking short term. And I mean, he's got to say the words, but fuck you, Ieyasu. You are not sad this is happening. No. It is time to leave it to the next generation. It's time for us to take it easy. Isn't that right, Nene? I mean, Nene, you are going to commit suicide and join me in the afterlife, right? I mean, you and 1,000 of my servants will all be buried with me, right? I don't think so, honey. My dear. Oh, the self-indulgence, Hideyoshi. Your race isn't run yet. JG doesn't remember how I talked last time. ... Master Ieyasu, Toshie, look after the land I have built. I can't be bothered to do a dying monkey voice. I'm just talking like happy old Hideyoshi at all times. Mitsunari is not mentioned here. What's going on? I am an old man myself. I still require your help. It will be terrible when you're gone. Just terrible. I don't know what I'm going to do when you're dead. Just no idea. No plans at all. That's right. You're not getting out of the work of maintaining this peace that easily. If you die, I'll kill you. Yes, perhaps. Master Ieyasu will be able to show the next generation the way. Or perhaps the shoe or the woo. What is this panning shot of the ceiling? Master Hideyoshi. Time for karaoke. My darling. Oh, Popeye. I think I must have been dreaming. Lord Nobunaga, I was being constantly ridiculed and undermined by you. Yeah, it's interesting too. He's portrayed as being fiercely loyal to Nobunaga, again, somebody needs to take over. It's not like you can grieve forever, but he was another guy. It's like Nobunaga's dead. It's like boom, instant. Okay, here's what we got to do next. No thrashing around, screaming and crying that we're aware of. He was the guy who was like, Nobunaga's dead. Okay, somebody's got to step up. And Mitsunari. He's a douche, but he's our douche, as Bobo once said. No, Mitsunari, kind of an asshole, but again, don't know so much about the real-life personalities of these people. But in Samurai Warriors world, yeah, he's similar to Hideyoshi with Nobunaga. His loyalty to Hideyoshi is unimpeachable. It's just a matter of what happens after he's gone. Lord Hideyoshi, the guy that I met twice, whose main contribution in my life was forcing me to babysit you? I don't know how I'll deal with this. It's strange. JG didn't even attempt to make the scene sad. Huh? I had no intention of forgiving him. I thought there was no way I'd ever be able to, because forgiveness is a human emotion. Lady Cha-Cha. Purina Chow Chow. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
けれど
But despite that, I don't know why, but I feel there's been a hole opened in my chest.
Everybody sees the wind blow. Everybody sees you're blown apart, Cha-Cha. Everybody sees the wind blow. It is natural to grieve when someone dies. I've killed many in my life with my spear, and I grieved for all of them. Well, I've KO'd a lot of people.
Yes, I suppose it is.
For example, my dad's gonna die before this game's over, and that might actually be sad.
What will happen to the Toyotomi now?
Well, ultimately it will collapse, but it'll take a while. I don't know. All we can do is band together and protect that which Lord Hideyoshi left behind. I gotta admit, because again, this is the interpretation of the Koei writers of the lives and, feelings of actual people who are gone. But they're doing a better job than I would have kind of expected, honestly, of setting the table for Yukimura actually feeling connected to the Toyotomi. They've used Cha-Cha to do this. He clearly has feelings for Cha-Cha in this game. I don't know if the two real-world figures had any kind of emotional bond of that nature, but in this game, it's pretty clear that he's very close with Cha-Cha, and Cha-Cha is part of the Toyotomi, and he feels a loyalty and connection based on these oaths they've sworn to Hideyoshi that it's not necessarily going to hold true when he gets back to his dad. Mazuyuki, much more of a politician, bit of a pragmatist. So, but I mean, we all know where Yukimura ends up and how Yukimura goes out, and the idea that he's fighting for something rather than just against something, it never made that much sense to me. What does he care about fucking Hideyoshi and the Toyotomi? But this game, I don't know if it's 100% historically accurate. I don't know if it's any more historically accurate than the Human Centipede was medically accurate. But I have to admit, they've set this up. I can now believe that he actually gives a crap.
Yes, long JG monologues aside, our conversation will continue. If possible, I would like for no one to ever have to feel this way again.
You don't want anyone to ever grieve because someone else has died? Cha-Cha, that might be outside of what you and Yukimura are able to set up, I'm afraid. Indeed. Let's make everyone immortal. Let's pass out free copies of Metal Storm and set the difficulty to easy. Another joke purely for Bobo. I have to stop with this. If you beat Metal Storm, as Boba the Vulture did on his channel, the ending tells you that you have achieved immortality. So, a long-standing joke. Well, not that long-standing, but the joke now is that you will become immortal if you defeat Metal Storm. Which I believe that was a Super Nintendo game. Might have been a Nintendo, but I think it was SNES. Lord Hideyoshi has passed away. What will become of the Toyotomi now? Lady Cha-Cha must be even more uneasy than I am. I must go to her side. You were just at her side. Why do they do this? She's standing right there.
I never thought the town of Osaka could ever feel this dark.
Yes, it has lost its son, Lord Hideyoshi.
Okay.
Yawn. Literally, she's he says that, and she's just yawn. I am bored with your sense of drama about Hideyoshi. No sooner is Lord Hideyoshi gone than this happens. Shouldn't we go back to Ueda, Lord Yukimura? I cannot do that. Now more than ever, the Toyotomi need everyone to stick together. I don't think you owe them anything, and I've got a bad feeling about hanging around here. Sasuke is right, and he's right. He is right that he owes them nothing. He is right that sticking around here is probably not going to turn out good. Wow, what a town! Wow, what a town! I never cease to be amazed. I didn't react at all to the death of Lord Hideyoshi, and it's kind of weird that they... Hey there, Mr. Daimyo. Yeah, they have these little word balloons that fade out if you talk to them. And I always assume that means they have something new to say, but it seems like they just reset sometimes, even when they don't have old guy Sama. Good to meet you.
Welcome. Are you waiting for someone?
Well, apparently there's somebody new we can encounter, so... Oh, we can talk to Kai now. I believe we have already got full buddy points with her.
Please make yourself at home. You summoned me, Lord Yukimura? I'm here to not really have a relationship that makes any sense with Kotaro Fuma. Hey, just the person. Here, sit yourself right down next to me. I recommend the dumplings here.
She seems nice. But we've already maxed out our friendship with her, haven't we?
Wow, really? Thanks.
Yeah. So that did nothing. But she likes fruit. But I don't really care. I just gave up 1 copper ore because I forgot how to check that we've already maxed our friendship with her.
What's that you say? You're glad to have found such a charming tea house with an even more charming lady within? Why, you're making me blush. Here, let me treat you to some tea.
We didn't get any tea from that, though. Yeah, Kai's another weird one. So I don't know that much about the real historical personage, but there's this running gag that she's the bear princess. And I don't know that the real-life Kai was supposed to be physically attractive, but they can't help themselves. Every girl in these games who's playable, they always make them hot. You'll have some, you'll have to play, like Yukimura's he's a handsome young fellow. They have, like, Bishonen male characters. It's not like they don't have male characters in these games who are attractive, but the women are always invariably attractive. So even, like I think I remember reading somewhere that Nohime, an important political marriage for Nobunaga, but not somebody who was particularly, like, a ravishing beauty. But they make her a beauty in the games. And Kai, in particular, it's like she's the bear princess. She was supposed to be, like, scary and threatening to people, but they make her, like, cute as a button. They can't help themselves. So I don't think any of these people are going to have anything new to say.
Best vegetables in the world, baby.
Well,
If the 2 vegetables you want are those 2.
take a look. This rarity's come all the way from beyond the ocean. Hi there. Now I can replace the copper ore that I gave to her if I felt like it. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm, like, thinking there might be new dialogue with people, and I'm trying to show off as much of it as I can, but, these are just shop owners. Like, here we go. Nice to make your acquaintance. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Master Yukimura, Sarada, I presume. I am Terezumi Akashi, retainer of the Ukita. Terezumi Okachi, retainer of the Ukita, as he said, one of the 5 Osaka Ronin. He served the Ukita as administrator and also fought in the vanguard at Sekigahara. Later, he participated in the Osaka campaign in an effort to restore his master's clan, fighting on the side of the Toyotomi. He was fond of auspicious and joyful events and is said to have had a love of flowers. Okay, so he's a guy that we can befriend because I gotta give him flowers, apparently. Ukita. Hidei Ukita, daimyo of Baizen, present-day Yokoyama. He participated in the attack against Hideyoshi Hashiba at Takamatsu Castle and was also present at various other battles, including Komaki Nagakute, Kyushu, and Odawara. He earned Hideyoshi's favor and married Hideyoshi's adopted daughter, Lady Go, who was an actual daughter of Toshie Maeda and was also named to the Council of 5 Elders. At the Battle of Sekigahara, he wrote a call to arms as a lieutenant for the Western Army and also fought in battle against Masanori Fukushima. Because Masanori Fukushima will be fighting against the Toyotomi forces at Sekigahara. Spoilers. I am honored to meet you. Your fame as the right-hand man of Lord Hideaki precedes you. That was simply an accident of circumstance. It is not something I can be proud of. You are too humble. I do look forward to working with you. I like working with kiss-ups. So a guy likes flowers, let's give him flowers. What the hell? I have like 174 dandelions. I can afford to give him a few. Let's give him 25 dandelions. Gift. Yes, sorry, yeah. Oh, splendid. What a wonderful gift. So that did it all in one shot. I probably gave him more than I needed to there. This is for a way of saying thank you. I got burdock roots. That's worth more than dandelions. Got soldiers. Nothing to report. There's Takatora. I think I was making somebody else talk like Batman last time, but this guy looks like Batman to me. Maybe he'll talk like Batman today.
The Lord Hideyoshi, do you think Toyotomi clan can maintain this peace, Yukimura?
I don't know. I believe it's our job thanks for bumping into me, soldier. I believe it's our job to do what we can to ensure that it's maintained.
You're right. But is that even possible anymore?
Well, I know you're not going to help. He's another guy who ends up fighting against Mitsunari. So Mitsunari becomes the... Well, I mean, we'll see it happen, but he becomes the inheritor of the power block that used to be Hideyoshi's, more or less. But, like, half of Hideyoshi's supporters, including that guy, just, like, break off because they think he's an asshole. Old man! Lord Hideyoshi. No, old man! Old man, take a look at my life, I'm alive. Master Masanori, I am sorry for your loss. Yeah, larg. He didn't really have any dialogue I could do a mafioso voice for there. Oh, Master Kiyomasa. I'm sorry, Yukimura. Can you leave me alone for a while? I'm no longer talking like Batman. You gave my voice to someone else. Of course. Masanori and I would like to continue to plot against Mitsunari in peace. That great unifiers helping against the ravages of disease. Helps against the ravages of disease. It's sad, isn't it? Well, at least he didn't die on the toilet. Yes, I am sure you felt much the same way, and your Lord Shingen was lost to us. I only hope our Lord doesn't try and take it upon himself to respond to this grief by trying to do too much. Look at me, I'm trying to help you. Master Mitsunari, Lord Hideyoshi's loss is a great tragedy. We do not have time for grief. There is too much to do. Master Mitsunari, might I suggest you act slightly like a human at this time? Might help with some of these guys who are planning to betray you. I mean, if they felt... But you're... Master Yukimura Sanada, I am Katsunaga Mori of Kokura. Retainer of the Toyotomi, one of the 5 Osaka Ronin. He served Hideyoshi Toyotomi, and after the conquest of Kyushu, was forced to remain in Buzen. At the Battle of Sekigahara, he fought for the Western Army, but was defeated. During the Osaka campaign, he deceived the Tokugawa's watchmen and managed to enter Osaka Castle. He also performed exceptionally well at the Battle of Tennojuguchi. His deeds were so spectacular that it was stated, it is unfortunate future generations will speak of the Sanada and not the Mori. He was always nice. Yeah, so he hates us. He doesn't know it yet, but he hates us because we stole all his thunder. He was always sincere and serious. His favorite foods were ones that were easy to grow and featured plenty of nutrients. Again, they get these bios, and then they tack on this, like, dumb shit clues about their favorite gifts. Kokura, present name of a location in Buzen. Katsunaga Mori's father, Katsunobu Mori, was given the land as a reward for his performance during the conquest of Kyushu. Katsunobu built Kokura Castle on this land. Hi. Yes, I'm Yukimura Sanada. I am pleased to meet with you, Master Katsunaga. I've heard much of your fondness for foods that are easy to grow and full of nutrients. Your achievements at Ueda and Odawara have ensured that the Sanada name is respected across the land. You must teach me what you know, so that the Mori name won't be forgotten. Because people keep talking about the Sanada like a bunch of jerks. You flatter me, but I look forward to reaching new heights with you. Also, here's some nutrient-filled vegetables. Wow, we don't have vegetables in the same quantities that we had flowers in. Let's try giving this guy 10 cucumbers. He seems like a cucumber man. How splendid. I'm most honored by this gift. So full of nutrients, so easy to grow, so penis-shaped. He likes vegetables. Here's a little something as a thank you. We got wasabi, so we traded one vegetable for another, which is probably fair, because I don't have that many vegetables compared to all the other junk in my inventory. Yeah, Yukimura at all times is carrying around, you gotta bear in mind, everywhere he goes, he's carrying around 264 pieces of glittering gold ore, 28 foxgloves. He at all times is carrying 18 persimmons and 41 freshwater crabs. He has got big, deep pockets. This was always inevitable. The tide of the times was unavoidable, but it is sad to see that this day has arrived. Yes, the men we have lost are irreplaceable. Of course, the graveyards are full of irreplaceable men. Mei Ling told me that. The legacy left behind by Lord Hideyoshi. Mitsunari will do all he can to protect it, I am sure. But is that really the best thing to do? I want you to think carefully about that too, Yukimura. I'm not really much for thinking. I'm more like action guy. Alright, let's talk to Nene and then end this video. We'll pick up next time by advancing the story with Lady Cha-Cha. So go figure, this video is all talk.
My darling.
Why, Lady Nene, I didn't know you felt that way. Lady Nene? Is that your mourning garb? I mean, is that what you wear to a funeral?
Smile, Yukimura. That's what my husband wanted more than anything, a land where everyone is happy.
Yes, I will put on a fake smile for you, Lady Nene. I owe you that much. Alright guys, I'm going to make sure this video actually recorded, and when we come back next time, we will go talk to Cha-Cha and figure out how is the story going to get us back to Sanada lands, because we got to get there eventually. And I'm really curious to see what happens the next time Yukimura talks to his dad, who I cannot imagine is grieved. He's probably got plans. We'll find out about those in future videos. See you then.